next one where government has put in place.
Yeah.
And the students have to do much of the learning on their own. So that's what government has put in place. Several measures. I don't know whether he may even have to ask the third question.
Here I did now, ma. Near what be rich to me. Nania only home no. I'm a holding the soul. You meant him for bro. Now I'm a pabada. And kwa shri. Sis and wanna cheat. Not to honor a chain. Era denim Onya holding for or then taban for a set. I know my cordia. Oh, to miracle. Na aba on Antia omre. Era dear mama yo. Na debomu odishia. Was a metreni ekatabo. Ordinary passion, my flumma. Wamama kuma shabo. She's a matam for you. Intimira metiasi. When you not see, 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 when you not see. When you not see, I'm not met tonight. Now to me, dog, when you was there, when you my kasi, when you my wawa, only papa be and to be see. Me to resign, but I, me the mean surodom, Prisania or Timimuno, or Susania or Wabiase. Enti erade kame hoi hold he comes.
So Christ, having been offered once to bear the sins of many, will appear a second time, not to deal with sin, but to save those who are eagerly waiting for him. Join Reverend Anthony Doe and his panelists on Season Word as they discuss the signs of his coming every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. live on Facebook, North Canadian Assemblies of God, and on YouTube, NKG Live. God bless you. So Christ, having been offered once to bear the sins of many, will appear a second time, not to deal with sin, but to save those who are eagerly waiting for him. Join Reverend Anthony Doe and his panelists on Season Word as they discuss the signs of his coming every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. live on Facebook, North Canadian Assemblies of God, and on YouTube, NKG Live. God bless you. So Christ, having been offered once to bear the sins of many, will appear a second time, not to deal with sin, but to save those who are eagerly waiting for him. Join Reverend Anthony Doe and his panelists on Season Word as they discuss the signs of his coming every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. live on Facebook, North Canadian Assemblies of God, and on YouTube, NKG Live. God bless you. So Christ, having been offered once to bear the sins of many, will appear a second time, not to deal with sin, but to save those who are eagerly waiting for him. Join Reverend Anthony Doe and his panelists on Season Word as they discuss the signs of his coming every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. live on Facebook, North Canadian Assemblies of God, and on YouTube, NKG Live. God bless you. So Christ, having been offered once to bear the sins of many, will appear a second time, not to deal with sin, but to save those who are eagerly waiting for him. Join Reverend Anthony Doe and his panelists on Season Word as they discuss the signs of his coming every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. live on Facebook, North Canadian Assemblies of God, and on YouTube, NKG Live. God bless you.
Good evening, viewers.
Good evening.
Welcome once again to Family Time with North Canadian Men's Ministry. This evening, we are looking at a very important program, the impact of COVID-19 on the Ghana education system. As of now, we are all aware of this global pandemic called COVID-19. As of today, 24th May 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected over 5.23 million people, with about 343,000 dead globally. One area this pandemic has affected us mostly is education. As much as it has affected all other spheres of our life, be it the financial sector, the industrial sector, and the health sector, to be specific. But our major task this evening is to look at this impact on the Ghana education service system, to put it right. This evening, I have our renowned educationist among us to help us deal with this topic. On my immediate left is Mrs. Sarah Morrison. Auntie Sarah, as you normally call her, is a senior assistant registrar at Accra Technical University. He's also the head of Quality Assurance Department of the same institution. He's a member of this church and a very committed Sunday school teacher as well. Madam, you're welcome.
Thank you.
We also have with us Mr. Frank Agble. He's a former lecturer, Methodist University College, Ghana, and currently he's adjunct lecturer at Ghana Institute of Languages. Mr. Agble, you're also welcome.
Thank you.
Viewers, I would want you to just relax, gather all your family together, let the student be around to listen to all this important program, put your questions together, and put your contributions together as well. Put them on the page, share the page as well for those who are not live now to benefit from all this important discussion. Once again, you are welcome to Family Time with the Men's Ministry. Thank you. All right. Auntie Sarah.
Hello.
You all know that on the 16th of March 2020, the government of Ghana announced, or for that matter, ordered the closure of all educational institutions in the country. Now, can you tell us the total population of students that have been affected by this closure of schools in Ghana? Or Uncle Frank will deal with that for me. Okay, Uncle Frank, please take over.
All right, thank you. According to UNICEF Ghana report that has been published in May, it says that 9.2 million students from kindergarten, primary, junior high school, senior high school have been affected by the closure of schools. And that for the tertiary level, 0.5 million students have been affected by the closure of schools, and they are at home currently. So that is the number we have now on the UNICEF page about the number of students who have been affected by the closure of schools.
All right, thank you. Thank you. So, what are the implications of this closure of schools? I mean, you say affected. What is its implication? Auntie Sharon.
Thank you very much. You realize that the students came home around 16th of March, and now today is 25th or so.
24th.
24th May. So, well, they've spent barely 2 months in the house. And this, when it comes to education, it's a continuous affair, something that you need to be practicing, learning on and on and on. So in order for education not to be affected, the government put in place certain stopgap
Okay.
to help continuation of learning. But the implication of the school closure is that, one, it has affected academic calendar. It has disrupted it. And the students would now have to learn on their own. And that is why the government came in with this e-learning, TV programs, and then with the tertiary or the universities taking into Zoom, WhatsApp platform, and the like to help them continue with their education.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
But let me add this. This e-learning, the Zoom, the WhatsApp, the Google Play, Classroom, and the likes, are they as effective as in-person education or training, for that matter?
Well, thank you for that question. I made my submission earlier on. I said it's a stopgap.
It's a stopgap.
Yeah, to make sure that education or students' learning is not too much affected by the impact of COVID-19.
Okay.
Yes. With the e-learning and other things, I think it's a very laudable measures that the government has put in place to help in this crisis as far as education is concerned. However, it is not without some challenges or teething problems. Globally, you will see a lot of countries using digital learning, internet, TV. This time we have online degrees, PhDs, and the like.
Okay.
So I think this is the time Ghanaians will also have to join the global trend of education, where we will also go online in learning. But as I said, it is not without challenges. And one of the major challenges concerning this e-learning is about accessibility.
Accessibility.
In terms of provision of electricity. You know that in Ghana, not all the places have access to electricity. Okay. So when we talk of TV programs on learning, internet facilities, all these things run with what? Electricity.
Yeah.
So you realize if we don't take care, it will rather widen the gap between the rich and the poor, where we have those people who are privileged to be in the cities, that they have lights, they have laptops, they have Android phones to continue with their education, whereas their counterparts in the remote areas who don't have lights, who don't have even TV, radio, to be able to, even if you have the TV or the radio and you don't have lights, of what use are these facilities?
Okay.
So you realize that though it's a very laudable idea for government to come in with these interventions, there are some challenges that comes with it.
Okay. All right. Uncle Frank,
as she has rightly said, if you don't have these gadgets, how are you going to learn? Even if you have a phone, an Android phone, buying data is always a problem for those far away in the villages. And they don't even have it.
they don't have internet connectivity,
Okay.
even if they have light. So these are some of the challenges that we see with the rural dwellers.
Okay.
And then that has brought to the fore a gap between the privileged and then the underprivileged in our societies, especially in the educational setup.
Okay. So let's be around the e-learning for a while. With this pandemic, I mean, it's early days yet, but we cannot foresee that the educational structure is going to change to make room to accommodate this e-learning. What must you do? I remember there was a government policy, one child, one laptop. And I'm sure if that thing were to be successfully done, I mean, would have mitigated some of the inequalities you will just talk about. What must be done as parents, I mean, to accommodate this challenge, whilst we still get the benefit of it?
Right. In the first place, as we said, one child, one laptop. If the government has pursued that program, it will be a very good one.
Yeah.
But you know, in the villages, they don't have any light, electricity. So if he has a laptop, what is he going to do?
Okay.
So this will always benefit the privileged, those who have electricity.
Okay.
So, but it's a good idea that we continue to pursue such programs because as things go, that's how the world is going now, and it will be of great benefit to Ghanaian students.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
A little to that.
All right.
Yeah. When we are talking about the e-learning,
Okay.
you know, in Ghana, our educational system is such that it touches on three main domains, and that is the cognitive,
Okay.
the affective, and the psychomotor of the child's development.
I see.
The cognitive aspect talks about the brain development.
Okay.
And you realize that the e-learning centers more on the cognitive because the child is just watching or reading from the net, whatever the teacher has posted on the WhatsApp or maybe the Zoom platform for them to learn. But the affective aspect of the child's development, that talks about the soft skills. When I talk of soft skills, we are talking about the way the child communicates, teamwork, ability to develop integrity, and all that. All these aspects of the child development has now come to a stop because it is now the child and then the gadgets, but not the social contact. Then we talk about the psychomotor. The psychomotor aspect talks about skills in training. That is ability to come out with innovation, ability to train the child in his talent. And that is why we have the extracurricular activity, where we involve the child in culture, sporting activities. For all you know, maybe that is the area the child can make it in life. So to train the child to fit into the world of work, we need to touch on the cognitive, the affective, and the psychomotor aspects of the child's development. But if we look at the situation we find ourselves in now, the e-learning, the TV program has limited our learning to only the cognitive aspects, which, if it is not addressed well, in the near future, is going to affect the child as he fits into the world of work.
Okay. So, the cognitive, the other ones and other ones. All right. We will come back to that. We will come back to that. But I want us to look at something here because the e-learning is ongoing. You know, the government came up with a timetable for, especially the SS. There was online platform that was developed for the secondary school, and they said we're going to do for the primary and then the. I don't know if you can speak to
can speak to that for me. The online platform developed by government. How is it working? Is it actually working?
Right, the online is working.
It's working.
It's really
Okay.
working.
Okay.
You have the
The timetable.
GL, yeah, we have a timetable.
Okay.
Even May, I even saw May timetable
Okay.
from KG to primary, GHS and SL. I've seen May timetable.
Okay.
So it's working.
Okay.
And then you have GL TV,
Okay.
Ghana Learning TV.
Ghana Learning
It's a
TV.
24-hour program only for these courses
Wow. Okay.
that we run. If only you have the TV, you can watch all the programs.
Okay.
And then we have some other TVs also on which these programs are aired.
Okay.
You know, we have Joy Learning, we have Go TV, we have other TV on which these same programs are aired. But GT Learning, that's GL TV.
GLTV.
TV,
Okay.
Ghana Learning TV,
Okay.
GLTV.
GLTV. Okay.
It's a 24-hour program over there.
Okay.
It works.
All right.
It's even, some of these programs are even aired on some radio, regional radios and community radios.
Okay.
And so they work.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, viewers, if you have just joined us, this is Family Time with Men's Ministry. We are looking at the impact of COVID-19 on the Ghana education system. Our resource persons, Mrs. Sarah Morrison is here, Mr. Frank Agble is here. These are seasoned men who have been in education over a number of years, and they are here helping us to do justice to the topic. We were just being advised that there is a dedicated channel for our students, 24/7.
Yes.
Education is not only for teachers, parents, you also have a role to play. As our president said, these are not normal times. Let's be a little dedicated. Let's get interest in it. Let's be abreast with their timetable so that we can encourage them to be partakers of this and that they will not lose. Thank you very much. If you have just joined us, God richly bless you. Before we move on to the preparedness of schools and the likes, government announced this closure of schools because of the spread of the disease. Government has come out with some protocols to observe. I mean, World Health Organization is admonishing social distancing, washing of hands, putting on nose masks, and the likes. If you look at the rate of infection, it's very low with children. So what prevents the government from opening schools for us to go and enjoy our education if the infection rate is that low among children?
Right. I watched a French channel.
What channel? France.
They
Okay.
have resumed, schools have resumed.
Okay.
Okay. You know, they are putting measures for children to resume. But just as a resume, within 1 week, 2 weeks, they say 70 people had been affected.
Hold on.
70.
70 people.
Yes, yes.
Within how many days?
Just within a week or two,
Wow.
70 have been affected. Okay. So it isn't that it will not affect children, because we even heard that a 9-year-old child had been affected.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that is it. So the issue is that maybe we'll look at it from this point. It is the adult that rather go out more often. The children, they are at home.
Okay.
I think we can look at it from that perspective. But it
Okay.
doesn't mean that it will not affect children.
Thank you. Thank you. So from your submission, the rate of children is very low because their movement is restricted.
Correct.
And we adults have been keeping on going and coming. That's how come we have been. I think that's good. That's good. But we're also told that their immune system is strong. So when they even get it, it goes faster. I mean, is that not the reason why they are not infected? Or just because of the movement? We can look at that one later.
Okay, yeah.
The children have missed their classmates. They have missed them.
That's
My daughter Santua called me, Daddy, I want to go to school and check up on my friends.
Wow.
So, see, it's the friends.
They want to go.
Okay.
They want to go. But as educational institution, Auntie Sarah, from your perspective, what measures is your school putting in place so that if government comes today to say schools are open and that students can go,
what are measures you are putting in place to accommodate and to prevent the spread of this disease?
Well, if I should talk about my institution,
Okay.
it's a tertiary institution.
All
You
right.
know that with the tertiary is the adults.
Okay.
So we are insisting on the pandemic protocol, the social protocols that has been put in place for us. For instance, you have to wear face masks. They have also provided Veronica buckets at vantage points where anybody who enters the campus will wash his hands and then also make sure that you have alcohol-based sanitizer with you.
Okay.
And then again, we are trying to come out with a situation where we'll reduce the number of students in a class.
Okay.
So plans are on the way, thinking about how we maybe at a particular time we'll have one faculty in session.
Okay.
Then at another time, another faculty we can, so that we can spread the students in the various lecture halls.
Wow. That's fine. That's fine. So there'll be a lot of social distancing.
Yes.
In fact, the disease actually spreads between contact. So the best we can do as we are doing here, social distance is important. And Frank, would you want to add anything to what Auntie Sarah just said? Mitigating factors, awaiting the reopening of schools.
I think those are the measures that we have to look at. They are already in place. But should there be a decision to resume schools, then it means that certain things must be taken into consideration.
Okay.
But if you have, let's say, 40 students in a class, and you resume, you can't have the 40 students, because how do you practice social distances? You can't practice.
Yeah.
So that will be going to be a problem.
Okay.
Maybe a suggestion may be some go in the morning, maybe 20 will go in the morning, 20 will go in the afternoon, which will be a shift system. Then they can practice the social distances
From there.
very well.
Yeah.
Maybe apart from that,
Okay.
you can't resume with the same number of students in the class.
All right.
It will be a problem.
That's good.
And a little to that, we should also continue to sensitize or educate our students.
Okay.
Anytime maybe a teacher, for instance, with the secondary school and then the basic school, anytime a teacher enters into a class, he should draw the student attention about the pandemic and the protocols that they need to follow to protect themselves.
Okay.
And then also cleanliness and personal hygiene should be something that they should emphasize to help in controlling the spread of the pandemic.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. So we will come back to talk about its effect on the examinations, the BEC, and then the WASI, and then those who are even doing exams at the university level. And so let me not take it back. I know they are supposed to write, especially at the university one, they are supposed to write exams this month.
Yeah.
How are your people cooperating? How are they coping?
Well,
You enumerated a lot of challenges, the internet, the electricity, the data, those things. But how are they coping since
the closure of the university, we continued the semester using the e-learning platform.
Okay.
We have learning management system.
Okay.
That is what we are using to complete the semester.
Okay.
But when it comes to exams, with Accra Technical University, we have a lot of our students being reading HND programs.
Okay.
And then HND is under NATEX.
Okay.
So we have written a proposal to them on how we would like the exams to go. So until they respond, we cannot say that they are writing exams or not. Yeah.
Okay. I have a level 300 students in my house right now. They were doing, is it IA? Legon, they do IA, I guess. And they said they give them like 20 minutes. So you have to do it so fast that you'll be able to beat time. Because as soon as the time ends, whether you are ready to submit or not, is gone. And I was like, then what it means is that you can be referring to your notes. And he said, you can't. Because that one is even more difficult. By the time you go and look for answer and come, you have already wasted a lot of time. But I think it won't be a bad idea because a lot of these developed countries, they are encouraging the online. Is it that here we are not ready? That is why it's taking us this one, or our people. I mean, I'm also sure that some of the lecturers are not even inclined with the IT stuff like that. So as a nation, I think we have to look at it holistically, prepare our people, as in the students, for future occurrence, and then also our lecturers as well. All right, so viewers, this has been Family Time with Men's Ministry. We'll be right back. Thank you.
So Christ, having been offered once to bear the sins of many, will appear a second time, not to deal with sin, but to save those who are eagerly waiting for him. Join Reverend Anthony Doe and his panelists on Season Word as they discuss the signs of his coming every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. live on Facebook, North Canadian Assemblies of God, and on YouTube and KG Live. God bless you. So Christ, having been offered once to bear the sins of many, will appear a second time, not to deal with sin, but to save those who are eagerly waiting for him. Join Reverend Anthony Doe and his panelists on Season Word as they discuss the signs of his coming every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. live on Facebook, North Canadian Assemblies of God, and on YouTube and KG Live. God bless you.
Welcome back to a panel discussion With the men's ministry, the family time. Good evening to our senior pastor and the pastorate and the church board as well. We hope and believe you are with us and you are enjoying yourself from your various homes. And my men's ministry members, I believe you are also with us. Keep your questions coming. You can put it on the men's ministry page. It will be read out here for answering. Or if you are watching on Facebook, you can put it there. Or North Kaneshi YouTube page too, you can put your questions there and it will be read and addressed as well. Welcome. Now, we are turning our attention to exams. Uncle Frank, can you walk us through the government proposal in terms of timelines and its feasibility with regards to the BEC and then the WASI? Walk us through that. Thank you.
Right, thank you. As at now, there is no decision from the government on the exam. What we know is that we are still in consultation with the stakeholders.
Okay.
You know, before they taking a final decision on the exam. So we cannot tell as of now that BEC exams will be written at this time, WASI will be written at this time.
Okay.
We cannot tell because there's no decision made yet.
Wow.
Yes, so that's what we know. But if we want to go further,
Okay.
then we may have to look at other ways of doing it.
Other ways of.
Yeah, to progression. How do they progress?
Okay. Okay.
If we know that for now, the exam will be postponed. But when are they going to be written? We don't know.
Okay.
So that one we don't know as at now. But if you want to discuss further, some people have made some proposal
Okay.
as to the way forward about BC and WASI exam. You know, in Ghana, we place much emphasis on the exam.
Yes.
We don't place too much emphasis on the continuous development of the child, the continuous assessment of the child. It takes a percentage. BC takes 30%, the 70% exam.
Wow.
Right? Somebody, a researcher has made a proposal.
Okay.
This one I'm just saying what that researcher has proposed. His name is Peter Antipati.
Antipati.
He's a researcher. He has made a proposal. He said that the government can look at this, it this way.
Okay.
For the BC, you set exams for only the core subjects.
Okay.
Let the student write exam on the core subjects only. So
Only the core.
The core.
Okay.
That becomes standardized. There should be standardized exam. That is the core subject for all of them.
Okay. Which
So
are the
that
core
will be
subjects?
validity also, as well.
Okay.
So if they write the core, then the schools will add their continuous assessment to it so that they can place them in schools. That is somebody's proposal. You just say somebody's proposal, and not what the government has said.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why that one they can place them in schools.
Okay.
Looking at the way forward.
Okay.
But as at now, we don't know what measures the government will be adopting for the BC exam to be written. But this is a laudable idea to me. But it needs to planning. It needs planning because you can't just do it straight away like that. Okay.
So the core subjects that you are asking of, we are talking of English, mathematics, core mathematics, science, that is integrated science.
Okay.
These are the core subjects that we are talking of.
Okay. So then I think it's good it's somebody's proposal and not the government position.
Yes.
Because it's.
But as I said, there's nothing yet that you can read here and there to say that this is government decision.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
Because if we can write the core, then why can't you write the electives as well? Because it's all about the time to write the exam. It's about distancing ourselves, positioning ourselves to avoid the spread. So anyway, it's somebody's proposal and not that of the government. So we can. But then again, government too cannot sit on concern because education has timelines.
Yeah.
People want to go to secondary school, others will also want to go to the university and the likes. So they should come up with something. I remember there was another proposal to somebody also said that 30% you talk about,
Yes.
that should be used as enough basis to get people graduated to
Yeah.
the next level of the education.
If we use that one, it will not. There should be a standardized in every exam. There's always a standardized
Okay.
exam.
Okay.
That all of them will be measured by that one.
All right.
See, else if you do it, maybe let's look at those in the endowed schools
Okay.
who have scored 28%,
Okay.
25, 28%,
Okay.
and those in the rural area who have
Okay.
scored 7%, 10%,
Okay. Okay.
for instance.
Okay.
Okay, so the standardized one will be what they will write. All of them will write.
Okay.
Add their 30% to it, then you can place them in various schools.
All right. Okay.
For the WASE, maybe if you have to add that one.
Oh, you can go on. You can go
The
on.
same person proposes that the universities can set entrance exam for those willing to enter the various universities. They can set entrance exam for them
Okay.
instead of waiting to write the WASE to enter the school.
Okay.
But for now, we don't know. And time is also running.
Of essence.
So they can write, the university can set entrance exam,
Okay.
the student write, and they are admitted based on the exam that they have written.
Wow.
That is another proposal
Okay.
by the same person for the WASE. But you know, WASE is not only Ghana,
Uh-huh.
all right? There are other countries also who also write
Right.
WASE. But if that should be done, it means that it must be in consultation with all those countries and they must agree, except that they are allowing the various countries to find their way out around the problem.
And I think the same person proposed that when the individual universities allow the students to write entrance exams, then at a later date, when everything is normalized,
Okay.
the students should go back and write the WASI so that they can get the certificate
Okay.
for progression.
Okay. Okay.
That is the person's proposal.
Okay.
But I'm a little bit listed on it because how feasible? You have already entered. And now you are going to write exams to get certificates. I don't know how it will
Yeah.
go.
Anyway, it's good to know that these are all proposals
Yeah.
from persons and not the
Individual.
position of the government.
No.
All right. But if
But I know there consultations are going on
Yes.
in connection with writing of BC.
Okay.
The those people involved
Okay. All right.
from government side.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, but we have teacher unions as well. The student associations and the likes. I think it looks like they have been silent. Do you have any communication from them, any suggestion? Or they are also sitting waiting for the proposal from government, just like aspirants?
Well, with the teacher unions,
Uh-huh.
it has, I think last week I read something about some of the unions' opinion about the fact that they've heard government want to reopen school, and the reaction has been negative, that they shouldn't because of the fact that some of the teachers will be coming from the house, taking public transport.
Okay.
The same thing applies to the students, and you don't know who will come there with the virus and the like. So as at now, their position is it is premature to reopen school now. But I think the Minister for Information came out to clarify the air about the fact that it is not that the government would like to, but he's trying to look at the situation. If, let's say, it becomes possible that we should reopen school, what should be the measures?
Okay. All right. let me take us back something small. Like you are there, you are there. Teachers are being paid, right?
Yes.
What about the cleaners? The table people, right? That's how we call them.
Yes.
The cleaners and the lights. Are they also being paid?
Yes. The administrators are being paid.
Their full salary?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. That's fine.
Yes.
Okay.
Because we are still working, but from a remote, we are working from the house. We work from the house using our internet, like this e-learning, WhatsApp, this thing. I know my child is in one of the school, Wesley Girls High School. They have a WhatsApp platform for their students. They give them assignments and all that. So it's part of working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, it is not the teacher's will to stay in the house. It is because of the situation. And it is the government who declared that school should close.
This one there, somebody asked, so I needed to, for clarity, that all the workers, including the cleaners of our institutions, are being paid.
Yes.
Thank you very much for the clarity. All right, now let's still come back to what is happening. Our children are home. Yes. They are doing the e-learning. Teachers are trying. What should be the role, the active role of parents to get the best for our children in this time? You can take it.
You know, the parents should get involved in the education of their children whilst they are at home. They should be interested in whatever they are doing. Mm-hmm. Like this e-learning that is going on telly. Are the parents supervising their works to do this e-learning?
Okay.
They give assignments. Mm-hmm. Do they supervise that they have done the assignment? It's the role of parents.
Okay.
Leave their children just to play around throughout the day, throughout the week, the month, without doing anything. Because there is an avenue for you to learn. So parents must get involved in that one. If they don't do it, it means that the children will not learn anything.
All right. All right. Thank you. So parents should be involved.
Involved.
Get interested. Should know their time and the sequence of learning. Okay. Somebody wants to know, how can parents protect their children concerning online learning? How can we protect our children? I think it's deep. I don't know. Auntie Sarah, if you can take it from me.
Wow.
How can parents protect their children from concerning online learning?
I believe, like my colleague just said, that there is timetable. Okay. You should get involved in whatever that your child is doing with the Android phone or the laptop.
Okay.
So you should constantly look at what he's doing and then make sure that it's in line with his discipline. Like if he's a science student, this is what he's reading. If he's an art student, this is what he's doing. If he's a business student, this is what he's doing. So it all boils up to the point that you should supervise.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. There's a timetable, so the parent can ask for the timetable. The student, they have a timetable. They can even print the timetable online. So the parent can follow this timetable and make sure that at that particular time, the child is studying, not doing a different thing.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so with the online learning protection, I want to assume and believe that the parents is talking about the SSS. The child can be learning online, and before you see, he has jumped into another site and stuff. Fine. There is restrictions on the internet. There's a restrictions on some of the websites, on the YouTube and the other likes. Kindly go through, follow the procedures, and restrict which ones your children can be allowed to view, so that they don't go overboard, they don't do SSS to the detriment of their education. They are all there, the materials are there. And then also when you talk about the online learning, it's not just about the one they have access to the internet. The TV is also part. The radio is all part of it. Anything that is not involving the in-person education, like the person sitting in front of the teacher directly, is also part of it. So parents take interest as our facilitators are telling us, get to know their time so that you can even remind them of the time and then also learn with them. Remember, we were told to grow with our children, get involved in their education. If you grew with them, by now you should know where they are and what their interest is so that you can help them as well. Thank you very much. All right. So we move on to another section. Viewers, we are looking at the impact of COVID-19 on the Ghana education system. We'll have a short break and come back. Thank you.
Behold, he comes.
So Christ, having been offered once to bear the sins of many, will appear a second time, not to deal with sin, but to save those who are eagerly waiting for him. Join Reverend Anthony Doe and his panelists on Season Word as they discuss the signs of his coming every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. live on Facebook, North Canadian Assemblies of God, and on YouTube, NKG Live. God bless you.
Oh, me wo program watch up online program ya mefra.
With the men's ministry, we are looking at the impact of COVID-19 on the Ghana education system. Uncle Frank, somebody just asked that parents go to work. How can we effectively supervise, as he said? We go to work.
That is a challenge anyway. That is a challenge that we must admit. That you go to work and then the child is at home. It's difficult to monitor the child whilst you are at work. It's a challenge that we must admit. And that's a challenge that the pandemic has brought along. We must learn to find a way around it.
Okay. All right.
So maybe you may have an elderly person that takes care of your house when you go to work. So that person, you have to entrust that supervision role to that person to ensure that the children go, learn as it's expected of them.
Okay.
So we can fall on elderly people around, or the elder siblings could supervise the children to do effective learning.
All right. Thank you. So what my panelists are saying is that we can fall on the elderly at home to supervise in our absence. Another suggestion I want to add is that you can get feedback from their teachers. If you have the teachers' numbers, you can call them to check up on them. If they are online, if it's the online one, if they are doing their assignment, if they are submitting their work, that will give you an idea how much actively they are involved with their online studies. So it's one way. And then also, we should be able to speak to our children for them to know that it's for their own good. As much as sometimes they feel like they are doing it for us, they should also know that it's for their own good. So in our absence, they should be able to learn for their future. Now,
before you come in, I want to talk about one other effects or negative impacts of COVID-19 and then the e-learning.
Good, please go ahead.
On the students. Is it the e-learning? Yeah. No, it's about the fact that, there is some kind of a school feeding program.
Okay.
Yeah, where students, especially the basic school people, they give them one nutritious food
Yes.
a day. So with the closure of the schools, these students are not enjoying that meal again. And to a large extent, it's going to affect their their cognitive development.
I see.
Because if they are not able to eat well, they will not be able to assimilate or learn very well.
Okay.
So one of the effects of closure of school due to COVID-19 is about the fact that there is likely to be malnutrition among our basic students, especially those in the rural areas.
Wow. Uncle Frank, do you want to add something to this? Because this angle is entirely...
The parents' expenditure has also gone up.
As a result of the...
Because they are at home, the children are at home. They use electricity every day, water every day, every time. And then
they eat a lot.
So that makes the parents' expenditure go up. That is a challenge for parents. Anyway, that's a challenge for parents.
Yeah, I know a colleague in office who bought 3 laptops.
Yeah, sir.
During this time,
yeah, because you have to provide for the children.
Yeah, and then he has to get Wi-Fi as well, and he'll be paying monthly. So the expenditure aspect, that's true. Really expenses will go up because of this one. All right, so viewers, you are having time with the family, treating the impact of COVID-19 on the Ghana education system. We have in our midst Mr. Frank Agbler, a former lecturer at the Methodist University College, and Mrs. Sarah Morrison, Senior Assistant Registrar, and then also Head of Quality Assurance at the Accra Technical University. All right, very soon our time will be up, and we need to summarize what we've done so far. Uncle Frank, can you summarize our discussion from your perspective? And then Auntie Morrison will also come in.
Well, I'd like to say that COVID-19 has opened our eyes to something. That's the new way of learning, as we have said earlier. You know, some universities, especially foreign universities, they do online programs. They do all their courses throughout. We have to know that this COVID-19 is leading us to another level altogether.
Okay.
That level is where digitalization will become the norm. So parents, everybody, stakeholders, we must be ready to face that situation. Now that we have seen it, you see that very soon it will start rolling out. So we must be ready for that one. COVID-19, though a pandemic, is opening us and launching us into another level of education in Ghana, where digitalization will become the norm. We must be ready for it.
Thank you. And Sarah?
All right. To add a little to what my colleague has just stated, I think the measures that has been put in place as a stopgap in education or in learning is a very laudable one. And we need to continue with that, even if the situation normalizes, because that is the global trend now. Everybody will have to catch up with technology. So that is the advantage that COVID-19 is giving to education. And I think if there is ever a time that all stakeholders in education should unite, it is now, for us to come together and renew our education system, make policies that will enhance digital learning and also help in provision of infrastructure, electricity to all other parts of the country to enable our students to catch up with global trend of education.
Thank you very much, Auntie Sarah. Thank you very much, Uncle Frank. Viewers, this is time with the family. Men's ministry leading the discussion. And in the presence, we have Uncle Frank Asset and Auntie Sarah. They have done so well and done justice to the topic. A lot have been discussed, a lot have been shared. Parents, we have a lot to do in these normal times. The new normal has come and a lot of protocols have been admonished for us to prevent the spread of this corona. Physical distancing, washing of hands, using of sanitizers, the wearing of nose masks and the likes. Let's keep to that to prevent the spread. Thank you very much for your time with the men's ministry during this time. And now, join us tomorrow for all these important programs. The men's ministry, the youth, and the women's ministry will be having their time here at 7 p.m. That's the departmental meetings. On Wednesday, Season Word with Reverend Anthony Doe, the senior pastor of the church, 7 p.m. And on Thursday, we have Dominion Hour. That's 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And on Friday, we have lunchtime prayer, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Kindly join us and be a blessed. Amen. Thank you very much, viewers.
Behold, he comes.
So Christ, having been offered once to bear the sins of many, will appear a second time, not to deal with sin, but to save those who are eagerly waiting for him. Join Reverend Anthony Doe and his panelists on Season Word as they discuss the signs of his coming every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. live on Facebook, North Canadian Assemblies of God, and on YouTube, NKG Live. God bless you.